We have spent the last 2.5 years traveling around the country towing our 27-foot RV behind our truck, thoroughly enjoying our explorations. However, it was time for a new direction. We spent several months building our expedition vehicle, upgrading our stock Ram 1500 to be capable of new adventures deeper into the wilderness. Welcome to Expedition New Direction, Chapter 1, Transition. We started our overland build-out with pretty much a blank slate. We thoroughly researched options in order to decide how we wanted to spec out the build. Many decisions were made, then changed. Oftentimes, the simpler way was chosen. We all have lofty ideas and extravagant dreams about what we think we want. As far as this build, I was no different. However, logic always wins out with me when it comes to things like this. Simple, effective, and efficient are most important. We upgraded the suspension with a 3-inch lift kit, enabling better range of motion and clearance when we were on the trail, as well as leveling out the truck. A new bumper and a 12,000-pound winch was added, affording a better approach angle, as well as a self-recovery method if needed. A rack mounted over the bed of the truck allowed us to install a rooftop tent, our home, while on our expeditions. The rack also gives us multiple options to mount other equipment as well, such as recovery boards and spare fuel cans. On the roof over the cab, we installed another rack. This one holds our awning and 200 watts of solar panels. We do have an additional portable 160-watt solar panel that we can deploy while stationary as needed. Inside of the truck, we completely removed the rear seat and built a cargo platform which supports our 12-volt refrigerator freezer. Most of the remaining space is dedicated to our photography and video equipment. I was on the fence about which tires I wanted. After a lot of research and weighing my options, I decided on 17-inch Mickey Thompson Classic wheels with Maxxis Razor all-terrain tires in 285/70/17s. So far, we have been extremely satisfied with our choice. We added some additional lighting to the truck. KC Slim Light spots up front, LED fog lights in the new bumper, as well as the front and side LEDs that came with the roof rack. We'll see how those last over time. I made most of the wiring harnesses myself. One of the last things installed was a set of airbag assist on the rear of the truck. This was necessary to distribute the weight properly. I performed all of the installations myself. It was a great opportunity to develop a working knowledge of the vehicle systems. It took longer than expected to complete the build, but it was certainly worth the effort. Everything is performing well thus far on our journey.
As the onboard compass in our overlanding rig continuously indicates we are traveling either west or northwest, we find both humor and direction in this. Although our compass is inoperable to its intended purpose, it carries such wisdom from Spirit. As young adults, we each made choices that led us to Colorado, where we met and married. Although we moved to the south central part of the U.S. and remained there just over 20 years, Spirit continued to call us west. It is, and always was, in our wandering souls to experience new adventures that would write our futures, as we truly live in each now moment through connection with the wisdom of the past. What a whirlwind the last few weeks have been. We began our expedition on Tuesday, June 14th. Our first stop was Capulin Volcano, New Mexico. We spent the night outside of the monument entrance. The next morning, we shopped at the store at the visitor center and then drove to the top of the volcano. The view was epic. Next, we hiked down into the caldera, our first experience of this.
It's pretty easy going down. I'm sure it's going to be a little more taxing going up.
It was a short and rewarding experience. Seeing the ecosystem and life inside what was once burnt desolation thrilled me. Lava rock, cinder, lush green shrubbery, delicate flowers growing in between the rocks, and even wild cherries were growing. This is inside the caldera of Capulin Volcano in northeast New Mexico. And my first time I came through this area, I was only 10, headed to Colorado, and much of the same route that we're actually taking right now, because we went over to Durango and we're headed that way. But as many times as I've been by this volcano, I've never come up and checked it out. And I also did not know I was going to have the opportunity to actually come down into the caldera. So it's a beautiful day. Great way to start a morning. Get to be inside of an inactive volcano that was once active. On day 2, we made it into Colorado. After a stop at Trinidad at the visitor center, we decided to take the Highway of Legends scenic byway, while also using the Travel Stories app. So much fun, as well as educational.
As you continue ahead, you'll soon pass New Elk Mine, the last mine around here to close. Originally opened in the 1950s, it boasted a 6-foot thick coal seam, estimated to hold 80 million tons of coal. Over time, the mine also became a processing plant, washing and preparing the coal for shipping. Up ahead, you'll pass right under a large pipe that brought the refuse from the washed coal over the road to a dump site. You'll also see heaps of slag or unusable mined rock along the roadside. As we drive, imagine the railroad stretching from here out west to California, and in the other direction east to Pennsylvania, New York.
I had a most sacred experience along the Highway of Legends. This area travels through and along the Spanish Peaks. We took a trail to an overlook area that offered a 180-degree view of several peaks. There were a few stops along the way as we traveled our first off-road trail about 7 miles in. At the top, I hiked a couple of miles by myself to a 180-degree overlook, which was at the base of West Spanish Peak. Wow. This expression does not even match the magnitude of the experience. I spun around in the heavy winds in a 360-degree turn several times. I had open arms as I rotated around, looking up to the sky. I exclaimed, "Thank you." This was said to God, to Source, to Creator, and to my beloved husband Tim, who did so much work to get us here for this very experience. I saw and felt deep gratitude for all the long months of planning and building our overlanding rig. Such a reward can only be experienced. Later, we stopped at the most unique and charming store in a town called Stonewall. The store was called Picket Wire because the people that settled here could not say Purgatoire, which is the name of the river that runs through it. Tim bought a new t-shirt here as part of his wardrobe and a memento. Upon arriving, I made a new friend on the large front porch. The older border collie was so friendly and definitely open to new friends and loving. I sat in the large wooden rocking chairs while we bonded. The two ladies running the store were very engaging in conversation. We learned that one of them had recently moved there from North Texas. She was living in her fifth wheel behind the store and working part-time running the charming store. It is a small world. The connections that we make in our travels always show us a couple of things. It is a small world, not just in geography. We meet ordinary people living their lives according to their dreams and passions. Due to the locations we go, we meet people with similar interests and aspirations. Humanity, for the most part, is not what the media sells. Mother Nature is not what organizations and groups with a cause and agenda sell. It is all beautiful. It is creation in movement and flow. It is all of Source as Source. There is no good and bad. There is neutrality and perspective. The deeper into the drive we went, the more beautiful it became. This landed us in Alamosa at the Great Sand Dunes area, the same place we last stayed in our RV. It was very serendipitous to pick up from where we left off, although this was not planned. On day 3, we took another scenic byway, Silver Thread, from South Fork to Highway 50 just past Gunnison and its gorge. Beautiful. The valleys were impeccable. We saw the headwaters of the Rio Grande, a waterfall at the top close to the Continental Divide, and miles of beauty.
I know it's nothing new, but it's so good to see you. We do this every day, and I'm still so amazed by you. So hold me tight through the night. It's just us two, me and you. Oh, oh, I can't believe you love me. Oh, oh, I just feel so lucky. Oh, oh, still can't believe you love me. I hope it never ends. It's being more than friends. Yeah. You know I'm here to stay every single day. Yeah. So hold me tight through the night. just two, me and you. Oh, 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 I can't believe you love me. Oh, 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 I just feel so lucky. Oh, 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 still can't believe you love me. Falling into your arms, dancing up in the stars. Oh, where I'd rather be than with you. Oh, oh, I can't believe you love me. Oh, oh, I just feel so lucky. Oh, oh, still can't believe you love me. Oh, oh, I can't believe you love me. Oh, oh, I just feel so lucky. Oh, oh, still can't believe you love me.
We ended up near the Black Canyon and on to Delta to my cousin's house for a visit.
Join us next time for Chapter 2 of Expedition New Direction as we start the Rimrocker Trail in Montrose, Colorado. Thank you for coming along with us on our journey as we are living inspired outdoors. Please subscribe and click the notification bell to follow us on our overlanding and photography adventures. If you enjoyed our content, give us a like. Thank you again for your support, and we'll see you again very soon.